What's up guys, good morning, welcome back to the vlog. I'm getting a haircut this afternoon, so just ignore it for this morning. Currently doing a little pre-race spin on the rollers in the garden. The reason that I'm doing a session on the rollers today is because I'm doing cadence drills. Coming from BMX racing, like when I first started road cycling, my cadence was always pretty good because a lot of the BMX training involves like max sprints at high cadence, so naturally my cadence was always very decent. Whereas over the years, as I've got older and more lazy, my cadence has got worse. So yeah, time to address that a little bit, starting with this session today. So I'm currently doing a 10-minute warm-up, and then the session I'm going to get into is a pyramid session. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 45 seconds on, 45 seconds off, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, and then back down the pyramid. Got I think 3 sets of those in total, so it'll be an hour altogether. And then go racing at Preston this afternoon. That's basically my plan for today. That was interesting. That was pretty sweaty. I thought that I wouldn't put a cycling jersey on because I wouldn't need one. This thing is dripping. It's a little bit windy today, and it's nice because where I am, I'm between the house and the sheds. The wind's like funneling through, it's keeping me nice and cool. It's like having a big industrial fan when you're on Zwift. But yeah, it's good. It was nice to do a stationary session outside in the sunshine. Could have probably done this session on the road, but the thing is, when you're doing cadence, high cadence efforts, unless you're on a flat piece of road, then it's quite hard to keep that consistent effort going, which the rollers are basically made for. So yeah, 1 hour done, and it is race time in about 8 hours. The only way, I know you can't see my face, but hopefully you can hear me, the only way you should end a roller session is by bunny hopping off them, or riding off them. Yeah! Not gonna lie, I did low-key just think that I popped my tyres, but they seem alright. Alright, this is the current lunch situation we got going on. Some beans in there, some toast in the toaster, not one, not two, but three pieces of toast today, going big. Also, a bit of cheese. I'm not actually a fan of cheese, like I don't really like cheese. Genuinely, the only time that I eat cheese is on my beans on toast, so that's what we're gonna do, and I look like a potato. The beans are going on, the beans are on. The cheese is being grated, and there is finally, guys, one more secret ingredient, which is required to create the ultimate lunchtime meal. Pimienta negra. Pimienta negra. Don't know where this is from, but we don't care because it's going on. You don't need a lot, just a little sprinkling is all that is required, but there you have it guys. That is the ultimate lunchtime meal. What do you say? See, she likes it because she's wagging the tail. That means she likes it, okay? In like 5 minutes, I need to leave the house to go to my haircut appointment, but I thought that I should mention something to you guys watching the vlog who have, a number of people have asked me the question, have messaged me and said, are you racing the Tour of Ulster this year? You may remember last year we went there, me and the rest of the boys. Joe ended up winning the race overall. We also won the team competition. I was also in the KOM leaders jersey for a day. It was kind of the team's first big win, if I'm going to be honest. Originally the plan was we would go back there and try and defend Joe's win, but anyway, the Tour of Ulster is this weekend, and I've had a few questions saying, are you going? What's the situation with that? And unfortunately we're not going to be going back to try and defend Joe's win. So next week is the start of the Tour Series, and to be a part of the Tour Series, it is quite expensive. You've got the entry fees for the series, you've got the travel between the rounds, the fuel cost, the general kind of travel cost, buying food, filling up the cars, the hotel cost, and every other cost that's incurred with that. So the Tour Series, in terms of the team's budget, takes up a large proportion. It was pretty much a case of go back to the Tour of Ulster or do the Tour Series. And in terms of like sponsorships and exposure and kind of progression for the team for St. Piran, the Tour Series is probably a more financially viable option to do, which is a real shame. The Tour of Ulster was one of my favourite races last year. We actually went past the front door of my old house because I'm from Northern Ireland, for those of you that don't know. So I'm disappointed, honestly. I'm disappointed that we're not going to be going back to race that race again, but we're doing a tour series instead. So every cloud in the sky, of which there is a lot of, has a silver lining. So it's not all bad. Hopefully next year, 2020, we can go back and race the Tour Buster again. All right, it is 1:35. My appointment is in 25 minutes at 2 o'clock. It is time to get this absolute wig shaved off. Man, look at that. I look like bloody Sideshow Bob off Simpsons. And just as quick as that, we're back home with a fresh little trim. I am currently watching stage 1 of the Tour de Yorkshire. My pick today is Chris Lawless. We'll see how he gets on in 87 kilometers time. That's like 2.5 hours left of racing. So until then, I want to show you guys something. I got a couple of parcels in the post, and I want to unbox one of the 2 parcels that I got right now on the vlog. Which one should I open though? I'm gonna open the small one. I'm gonna put you down there. The only issue with using the iPhone for vlogging is that it's not very like wide. I mean, I have to put it quite far away for you to kind of see my whole body in the picture, you know, in the video. This parcel has come from Canada. This parcel's come from Canada. That's a long way away. And what is inside this parcel is a Shimano Dura Ace. How do we get this out? All right, here we go. A Shimano Dura Ace 4 precision 4 they kind of came to light at the start of this year / the end of last year, with their range of you know, affordable power meters, making them much more accessible. And they kind of look like this. It's just the left hand side with a little unit here which contains the strain gauges and all of that good stuff. But they have sent me to test out on the Ow, they're sharp, man. They are sharp. They have sent me the new dual-sided meters. We got a strain gauge on this side, the usual strain gauge on the non-drive side. To test out. My plan is to stick this on the Cube, which is my brother's bike. I'm not going to put it on my bike because for the team, we've got to deal with a different power meter company. But there's nothing stopping me putting this onto the Cube, onto my brother's bike. And my intentions are to compare this against the Wahoo Kicker, do a turbo session, do a few efforts, do a few sprints, co-align the data and see how they match up and see how accurate this 4II power meter is. The handy thing with this unit is it's just built onto a Dura Ace crankset, which uses the standard BB30 spindle. So I can just literally take off this Shimano crankset and it should just slip right on in there, nice and easy. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll update you guys in due course. And about 10 minutes later, the Dura Ace 4II power meter is now attached to, what is that? Oh, I think it's just a bit of grease. It's now attached from the bike. It was literally a simple case of unscrewing the end cap and then the 2 bolts here, taking the non-drive side off, sliding it out this side, and then putting the power meter in. We didn't have to change the bottom bracket, no adjustments, because it was already a Shimano bottom bracket in there. Okay, I'm gonna see if it's gonna just connect first time to our Wahoo here. Do the usual back pedal to turn it on. Let's search for a sensor. This is first time, guys, so you can see in real time how if it's just going to connect first time. Searching, hold next to sensor. I mean, it's pretty close. Is it going to find it? If we go to more, boom, power. I'm assuming that is the correct one because there is no other power meters in this vicinity. Save, sick. Do a quick back pedal to see if we got any RPM and power. Yeah, buddy. That was easy. All right, that was a pretty easy and standard setup of the 4iii Precision Dura Ace power meter. That's on the bike now, that's all attached and ready to go. I think what I want to do is test it out on the road a little bit, just check, like, kind of see the reliability, and then we'll stick it on the turbo, stick it on the kicker, and do a session on there, and then compare the power values between the kicker and the power meter, and just to see how accurate it is. I know the kicker's accurate because it's been calibrated, and then at the Nationals we had a different kicker which was also factory calibrated, and my numbers were the same on both. So, you know, for argument's sake, my kicker is pretty much accurate. So it should act like a good benchmark for this little guy down there. Alrighty, time to get the dog some food for their dinner before we head off, because, oh, my screen's a little bit dirty, because it is time to go racing. So we're gonna give my two mates a little bit of food before we set off. There you go, mate. There's one for you. Oh, this is a bit tricky with one hand. There's one for you and one for you. Don't say I don't treat you. Do you see that? I'm gonna turn that off because that ain't right. All right, anyway, the time is now about 10 to 6. iPhone is charged. It's amazing how much you need to charge your phone when you're using it to do vlogs like this, because it just kills, using the camera just kills the battery. But anyway, I've got my bike in the car, we've got my BLS bag with all my kit in, packed mainly dry weather kit, but a little bit of wet weather kit because, don't know guys, looks a little bit grey up there, looks a little bit grey. So just in case, we've got a gilet and a rain jacket, but we should be good to go. Fill my bottle up with some water, and yeah, time, if I can get my straps in my bag, time to hit the road, I think. Goodbye, house. All right, running a little bit, got to Preston, currently doing a little bit of a warm-up. I've also had a nightmare today because I've brought my, I brought the kit that I crashed in. So that's not sick. I might just race with this gilet on. I mean, it's pretty cold anyway, so it doesn't look too out of proportion wearing a gilet today. I've been a little bit poor with the whole vlogging thing this evening. Basically, I did my race, I finished my race, and it started to get dark, so I thought that I would just crack on and do some more filming when I got home. And that never happened, and it's now 11:49. So, the race today, how did it go? I finished dead last, I think, well, maybe like second to last or something. The break went much later today, like half an hour into the race, and I just missed the move. I just wasn't in the move. There's no excuse for not being in the move. It just, you know, the move went and I wasn't there, and no one is to blame for that apart from myself. So yeah, that happened. But honestly, I just didn't feel, you know, the legs just weren't really there tonight. I think the word to describe how I felt was sluggish. I just didn't have that kind of reactiveness, sharpness in my legs. I was able to race it hard and attack and go off with moves and kind of be aggressive within the race, but I just didn't feel like my normal self like I did, you know, last week. So basically my plan was to just go on a little bit of a mad one on the last lap or two, and try and finish solo between the bunch and the breakaway. Didn't end up doing that just because I didn't feel good, and then, you know, consequently in the last lap I just didn't bother contesting the sprint. But tonight, that crit was the last Preston crit before the start of the Tour Series. So I wanted to make it a hard hour. I wanted to just attack and ride on the front and just kind of be as aggressive as possible, and to just make the race as hard as possible, to get as quality training session in as possible ahead of the start of the Tour Series, and I feel like I did that. So tonight was a success, not in terms of the results, but in terms of the actual racing itself and stuff, if that makes sense. Don't want it to make it like I'm sounding, make it out like I'm making, I can't speak. I don't want it to sound like I'm making an excuse. But anyway, guys and girls, that's going to be the end of today's video, because it is now 23:52 and I am up at 6 AM and I've got to pack my bag. More on that tomorrow. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow at 4 PM. Peace!